Good day, everyone. My name is Adam Livingston, and I am the Bitcoin Wizard. I have a bonus video for you today because I just watched something that is so stupid, so incredibly uninformed, that I just have to comment on it. Tucker Carlson, you ridiculous little clown boy, you know nothing about Bitcoin. And that's pathetic because you spent 1 hour and 20 minutes yourself talking to Michael Saylor about this very subject. And let me tell you something, this interview is arguably the greatest orange pill ever created. Yet somehow it wasn't good enough for you. I'm going to play the clip. It's about 3 minutes long of Tucker Carlson talking about Bitcoin, and then I'm going to react to every point that he makes. When you speak out like this against Bitcoin, you will be put in your place, sir.
Do you invest in Bitcoin? Do you think it's like a viable asset to invest in?
Oh, man. I don't want to make more enemies. I mean, you want the real, it's my last answer, but you want the actual answer?
Yeah, sure.
And here's why. I spoke at the Bitcoin conference actually last year. I've spoken at a couple of Bitcoin conferences. I love the idea of Bitcoin because I love the idea of financial autonomy. I don't want what I buy or sell to be tracked. I don't want my money to be tracked. It's nobody's business. I pay my taxes. I've never cheated on my taxes. I've been very tempted, but I never have one time cheated on my taxes. And once the money's mine, like I can do what I want with it. And if you find me breaking the law, arrest me. But if you don't, it's none of your beeswax, as the kids say. So I love the idea of the blockchain. I knew some of the people involved in that whole thing. And I still believe in that promise, okay? Roger Ver, for example. I don't know how closely you follow this, but like there are people who still believe in that. But it turns out that it is not, to this point, been, I hope it will be, a way to conduct financial transactions privately at all. And that really freaks me out. I'm really afraid of a digital currency because that is totalitarian control. You can punish people. If you can zero out their bank account and keep them from eating it, you will have total obedience. Like that's totalitarian. And I know that young people love crypto because they've been completely screwed in the job market and there are no financial opportunities for most of them. And they know they're staring down a life of, if not poverty, certainly a step down from the way they grew up, most young people. And so Bitcoin for them, crypto in general for them is a promise of like, how can I make it in this world? Like I would like to have a normal life. How can I do that? And crypto is a way they think that they can. And I'm praying for them. I hope that's true. But I fear that it will become like so many other things in our country, a scam of sorts run by a coalition of the financial beneficiaries, like a few people who are getting all the winnings, and the politicians they control who use it to further their control of American society. I'm really worried about that. And so I'll just be totally blunt with you. I'm a gold buyer and I've been vindicated big time. In that. And everyone's like, oh, you're crazy buying gold. Yeah. You know, it was good enough for the Phoenicians. It's good enough for me. And I, in general, don't get involved in anything I don't understand. I think that's a really good rule.
So you admit you don't understand it?
I understand. Turns out I didn't understand it. But in general, I try to limit myself to things I understand. Nobody can explain to me who Satoshi was, the creator of Bitcoin, this mysterious guy who apparently died, but nobody knows who he was. You know, I grew up in DC primarily in a government family. That's my guess. Can't prove it. But like, you're telling me to invest in something whose founder is like mysterious and has billions of dollars of unused Bitcoin. Like, what is that? And no one can answer the question, including some of the biggest holders of Bitcoin in the world. Do I know personally? They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. It matters to me, right?
Didn't you just say that you wanted untrackable money? Okay, let's start with the spooky campfire story that Bitcoin didn't deliver privacy. Here's the thing, Bitcoin is a public ledger on purpose. It is a glass wallet. The point is verifiability. You can count the coins. You can audit the supply. You do not need to believe a press release or a politician. You just need arithmetic. Now, privacy, that lives at the edges. You get it through how you use the system. Non-custodial wallets, good UTXO hygiene, coin control, payment batching, Lightning for everyday moves, collaborative spends. It is like email. The protocol is open. Your security just depends on your habits, not whether a TV host feels cozy inside of a bank app. The fear is real, absolutely, but it belongs in the bank world. In that world, a bored bureaucrat can freeze you before lunch. In Bitcoin, the rules are physics with a social contract attached. No one can zero out your keys. If they do not have your keys, they do not have your coins, and that is the line. If you want complete stealth, Tucker, use cash in a parking lot at midnight and hope that the camera is broken. If you want accountable money, that settles worldwide. You use Bitcoin and you learn to use it well. Transparency keeps the supply honest. Tools restore your privacy when you need it, and both truths fit in the same brain. So when Tucker says that it didn't deliver privacy, what he really discovered is that Bitcoin delivered accountability first. Privacy is a practice. Accountability is the foundation of Bitcoin. We choose that trade because it stops inflationary magic tricks. Then we add the privacy gear like adults. That is grown-up finance. That is how you get freedom that lasts longer than a news clip, Tucker. So then he made this point about digital currency enabling totalitarian control. This was Tucker's plot twist in that rambling. He warns that digital money lets governments push the big red obedience button, which is true, for their money. For bank IOUs and CBDCs, that is the horror film where the villain has a clipboard and a freeze button, and then he points at Bitcoin like it's the same creature. That is like seeing a chainsaw and blaming the tree. Bitcoin is the jailbreak to the whole situation. Self-custody means there is no help desk to seize your balance. There is no switch to flip. The network runs on rules that everybody can read. You bring valid signatures, the system moves your coins. If you bring political pressure, the system just shrugs. Miners do not take orders from cable news. Nodes do not watch Tucker's show. Tucker says they can zero out your account. Hey, what account, buddy? A bank account that a compliance intern can freeze, or a key pair that lives on hardware in your drawer? Bitcoin is the fire exit on the building that he swears is burning. He yells at the exit sign and tells you to stay seated. That is performance art. Let us be fair. He is right to fear programmable compliance money. He is wrong about the antidote. Bitcoin is separation of money and state in code. Final settlements across borders, open issuance with no secret levers. If you worry about totalitarian finance, you do not throw out the lifeboat. You step in, you row, and you keep your keys dry. Tucker is selling bear spray to people being chased by a shark. Wrong threat, wrong tool, wrong ocean. The fix for account seizures is money that does not have an account. The fix for censorship is a network that treats every valid signature the same. The fix for fear is competence. Learn self-custody, route small spends on Lightning, keep receipts in math, not in vibes. Total control is a total dream, and Bitcoin is the alarm clock that wakes you up. Now another one of Tucker's favorite little bedtime stories. I fear a scam run by a few people getting the winnings and the politicians they control. Crypto will morph into a scam run by a few insiders with politicians on the speed dial, which is cute. Number one, he's conflating crypto with Bitcoin, which is his first mistake. But here's the deal. This whole thing is not a prediction. This is literally a biography of fiat finance. In fiat, insider advantage is the business model. You know who sets the rules in that world, the committees, the cronies, and whichever donor picked up dinner that night. Bitcoin is the opposite because the code is totally public. The supply is fixed. The issuance is pre-written and visible to a teenager with a laptop. You do not ask a treasurer for permission to move your own money on a Sunday. You present a valid signature and the network settles. No backdoor mint, no secret ledger, no midnight bailout where the losers get a bonus. If you want a real insider scam, just look at the last century that you're happy to stay in, Tucker. Selective bailouts, moral hazard with the smiles of lobbyists, bonds that pay with your purchasing power. That is the machine that you should be worried about. Then we have this TV guy waving at Bitcoin saying, beware the cabal. A cabal that argues on GitHub in front of everyone with commits that you can read and clients that you can run yourself. The only smoke-filled room is your CPU cooler. Now, do bad actors sometimes swim around Bitcoin? Of course, they swarm any pool with value. The difference is that Bitcoin lets you verify every rule at the edge. Self-custody cuts the rackets out. Full nodes make you your own auditor. The game returns to math and not favors. The scammers hate environments where verification is cheap and universal. They greatly prefer press conferences where they can manipulate the public. Tucker is warning you about a rigged casino while standing in the casino's VIP lounge. He points at the open kitchen across the street and screams about hidden ingredients. Meanwhile, the chef is cooking in a glass box and publishing the recipe for everybody to see. If you are afraid of insiders, run the system that makes the insiders irrelevant. In Bitcoin, trust scales down to one person and one set of keys. In Fiat, trust scales up to whoever had the nicest dinner with power. Pick a side. Now Tucker pulls out the bullion. I am a gold buyer. I have been vindicated. Cool. Gold is pretty, it's heavy, and it's stuck in traffic forever. It moves like a couch, audits like an archaeological dig, and clears at the speed of a shipping container. Bitcoin clears worldwide in minutes, settles without permission, and the supply is counted by every single node on Earth. If your hedge needs armored trucks, your hedge is a museum exhibit. Then we get to the Satoshi opera. Nobody can explain who Satoshi was, maybe the CIA, and the founder who has billions of unused coins. Tucker, your father, Dick Clark, was in the CIA, and you went to foreign countries on missions with him. You admit this on CNBC. What are you talking about? You can't name the inventor of TCP either, yet you trust the internet to use to yell at Bitcoin. The founder, being anonymous, removes a political attack surface and a cult leader. There is no CEO to subpoena, no headquarters to raid, no quarterly call to jawbone. Dormant early coins are a feature. If there are fewer coins chasing the same demand, that is good for whoever holds the coins. The CIA guess is the best part. Imagine an agency that cannot balance a budget inventing a monetary system with a fixed issuance schedule that anyone can verify. Bitcoin is the only conspiracy where the code is totally public, the schedule is public, and the entire plot runs on open math. If that is a psyop, Tucker, it is the first one where your calculator is the whistleblower. Gold works as jewelry and a paper derivative playground, and Bitcoin works as an instrument of final settlement that lives in your head and on your hardware. Gold needs vaults, guards, and trusted ledgers to scale, and Bitcoin needs keys and consensus. One is scarcity with logistics drag, the other is scarcity with thermodynamic guarantees and internet reach. Tucker waves a shiny rock like a mall kiosk magician and then points at open source money and screams about ghosts. Gold is a fine collectible, Tucker. It is a terrible network. Satoshi's silence is literally a security upgrade, not a red flag. The early stash sleeping is a civic lesson, not a crime scene. If you want resilience that survives politics, pick the system where the truth comes from validation, not from a talk show. Keep your keys, keep your supply audited, and keep your freedom out of the glass coffin at the jewelry counter. Tucker Carlson, your opinion about Bitcoin is totally flawed. You are a little clown boy. My name is Adam Livingston. I am the Bitcoin Wizard. If you like this content, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and help me spread the orange gospel to the masses. Have a terrific day. Do not party too hard. Class dismissed.